Hello everyone, welcome back to more of the Qubit Factory. Continuing to learn more about classical mechanics. I mean, to learn how to apply the tools the game has to solving sort of common... advanced classical circuit design and bit logic. Do I really want to do this? We'll see. Due to a clerical mistake, an extra shipment of inversion gates rather than re-zero gates. Okay. You have to make ands out of re-zeros. So we have... No, without re-zeros. Okay, so this is just like... Is this interesting? I think probably not. And the goal is to not use delays? Yeah, okay. Implement and. I have control bits. Yeah, so I mean, how hard can this be? You should be able to do it with just bit control, maybe? Like... If A is 0, then I should just output 0. And if A is 1, I should output B. So... in the 1 state for A, just output B. In the 0 state, let's do something else. And in the 0 state, what I need to do is output A, right? So in this case... maybe it's a little trickier. Because I don't know what value B has here, right? Oh. But I can always... okay, I can create a zeroer in the following way. By just comparing a thing to itself, right? So if it was 1, invert it. And if it was 0, leave it alone. This is a zeroer. Right? I think so. We can confirm this like so, with U on alternating. So it turns zeros into zeros. It turns ones into zeros. So that's That's all they're doing, is making me implement this. So we can then take this zeroer and if A is 0, feed B into it, and otherwise just send B to the output, right? It's a little too close. Okay. Because I need a control bit here, and then also space to incinerate it. And then also space for this to connect to there. So if A is 1, send B south. If A is 0, send it east. And combine those two into the output, right? Yeah, that looks right. Nope, it's wrong. Great, good to know. I got most of them right. If A is 0. Oh, there's a timing problem, I think, where we might send something out through here faster than we send it through here. We're not sending things out in the right order. Because these are slow. So we end up outputting stuff in the wrong order. Well, let's see. We should be able to see that, shouldn't we? Yeah. Well, no, that's right, but only just. And then this one snuck in before this 0 could get out, I think is what happened. Yeah, those two were in the wrong order. Now these two are in the wrong order. Okay. So I think we just need to make sure the distance from here to here is the same as the distance through this, basically. Well, okay. For starters, I could just move this whole thing down. And now this detours by 2, but this has to pass through two things, so it's pretty close. It might not be perfect, but it's better. No, that was wrong. Those two swapped. Right? There should have been 3 from up here before this guy got through. Okay. I mean, is it as simple as doing this, or... That looks about right. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, 98! Oh my god. So, maybe I need an actual control mechanism. What would that look like? I mean... You can always do the not very fun thing I did before. Of having... like, isolation. Total isolation, no parallelization. Where... you don't need this trick anymore. You have a sink here. And this... actually can't fit in either of these spots. A sink here. Where we split this and send it back. And we just need one extra bit here at the start to get things going. I guess... Really? Oh, that's true, because this... Okay, that's sort of... It should come in like there. Actually, I guess what I could do is that. So there's a little bit less looping back necessary. Okay. This approach is very, like, general. Also, it does not fucking work, because I thought I set this to 1, but it was on infinity. This approach is very general, but very slow. It's very inefficient, right? It doesn't allow any parallelism. If you could design something that could process things in parallel, it would be way better. Because this round trip adds a ton of time. But we're not being asked to do this quickly, just correctly. Whew, crisis averted. The logical computations are continuing uninterrupted. Yeah, thanks for the tip. Due to an excessive consumption of inversion gates, the origin of which remains a mystery, the factory is now... Yeah, okay. But now we got all the re-zeros. Implement XOR without inversions. So if A is 1... They're giving me delays this time, if I want them, I suppose. Is that indeed the goal? Yes. Don't use any creation gates. So... A and B... I mean, the only reasonable start is to use one of them as a control bit for something the other one goes into, right? So if A is 0, I can output B. That would be fine, right? And if B is 0, I can output A. But if they're both 1, I need to produce a 0 from somewhere. And of course, if they're both 0, I can't output both of them. So, I mean, can we just branch on A? What? So if A is 0, well, if A is 1, let's do something. No, if A is 0, we should output B. So let's set it up that way. But what do we do if A is 1? I mean, I'm sure we're gonna have to do something a little more interesting, but so at this stage, B is known to be 0, right? If we get something here. So, I mean, I guess I can draw this in. I don't think this idea is going to stick around. I'm going to have to do something funny with the output from B here to tell A what to do with itself. What? I have this thought of like splitting both A and B, so I get 2 copies of each, and then just building 2 different factories. One where we check, not factories, 2 circuits, whatever. And like in the top one, if B is 0, we just output. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't quite make sense to me. So if B is 0, we can send it to the output and then also send some information back to the A line indicating, go ahead, it's fine to delete yourself. Right? We can put a splitter in here, let's say. And A, like, comes up here and is told what to do by this. If it gets a 0 here, it knows it can delete itself. So like that. But if it gets a 1 from B, which we haven't set up a way to do yet, but let's suppose we could. No, we already know. No, here we know that A is 0. Right, B is going to the output, but we don't know what B is. But we know A is 0. If this sends something. So I feel like I need to do this somehow. Like, this is a way we'll send this. Getting a 0 on this line means that A was 0 and therefore should be deleted. So I think actually this is backward. Okay. But if we get a 1 on this line, we should release A to the output, I think, is what I'm looking at here. Now, what if B what if if A was 1, we've sent B south, but we don't actually know what B is. So I can't actually send a 1 onto this line the way I was saying I would in order to actually send the A out. Well, I mean, the thing is, I know A is 1. So if I could duplicate that, I could send it into this. So if A is 1... So, I think I need to fork A off before I put it here. So that we'll have access to a 1 somewhere in the case where we need it. I feel like I'm overcomplicating this. What did I do for the last puzzle? Well, it's kind of complicated. But this is the core of it. The rest is just input syncing. So really, it's not much at all. It's just you take a bit and maybe you 0 it. And otherwise you pass it through. Whereas here, I choose, well, if A is 0, I want to output B. If B is 0, I want to output A. I know that. That might not necessarily be the easiest way to implement it, but it would be correct. And if I could detect that they were both 1, then sure, I could just 0 either one of them and then output it. The tricky case is when they're... Well, no. That's fine. So I still think this idea of copying the inputs kind of makes sense. Like, to have 2 copies of each. And then cross them over, so I can have 2 little sub-areas. Does that make sense? Like, in one of them, I'll check if A... So, like, if I detect that A is positive, what am I... No. If I detect that A is 0, then I know B is a correct output. And I have access to A and B here if I want them. But how can I flag that, oh yeah, this is a correct input versus, no, actually don't output this? Because if we're going to combine the results of these 2 little sub-areas, we need to get a specific signal for sure from both of them, right? And you could, like... You could output 2 bits from each, but it seems ridiculous. You know, have a control bit that 0 means, yep, this is the bit to output. And 1 means, nah, forget it, this bit sucks. Or maybe we don't even emit the data bit when the control bit is 1. I don't know. We probably have to, though. But, like, building a thing that does that is hard. It has to check, like, 2 different control bits to decide which data bit to send. This is way harder than it seems like it ought to be. I could use a creation bit, and then everything is easy again. I think. Yeah, I could just create a 1 if they're both 0. Well, okay, so maybe what I can do is a kind of cascading factory where I try 3 approaches. I check, is A 0? If so, I'll output B and send back a signal saying, do the next input. And then if that wasn't the case, I'll say, okay, was B 0? If so, output A, which I now know is 1. And otherwise, they must have both been 0, and I'll output a 0 and send a signal back saying to do the next one. So, I mean, I think we're starting with like 2 sinks. Actually, maybe it made more sense to... I don't know, this is all just aesthetics, I guess. But I imagine, like... this. Oh, but there's this stupid... Oh my god. I can't get... This is going to block the passage of these guys. Okay, well, fine. Let's leave a little space then. And route stuff back through the middle. Like that. Now there's no crossed wires. And in fact, I don't need this much space with this approach. Just do that? No, not quite. That, though. We're going to need one of these little... Oh, don't... How am I going to start if I don't use... If I have this idea of send some message back saying, okay, you're ready for the next step, then I'll have to use a creation gate to kick off the first round of it. So I can't have sinks blocking my first input, actually, right? If I don't want to use a creation gate. I could just put in a sufficiently long delay. Sure. That's probably too long. Let's just say 10. I mean, is that enough? Who knows? But then... First thing we do... No, that's too close. You have to at least do this or something. Are you crazy? So if A is 1... The problem is I don't know A is 1. I found out B is 1, though. No, I didn't. In the case that A is 1, I can get the B line to know about it, but getting the A line to know about it is harder. Well, is it, though? Can't I just do what I did when I was zeroing things, where I just do this? And now this line knows what A is? I think so. Yeah, so I don't really need to... I don't want to send information to B about what A is, really. I want A to know what it is. What it itself is. So... we just want to incinerate this. Now on this line, A is 1, and on this lane, A is... Well, I'll have to do this, but... A is 0. So... I still think at this point we need a control wire to tell B what to do, right? Like... I'm willing to believe we need a little more space here so I can control this output more clearly. But at some point... we're going to figure out what we want to do to B. So if A was 1, we don't send something here. But if A was 0, we send something here. Then if A is 1, we'll later decide, okay, I figured out what to do with B, and we'll send a we'll like send a 0 here, right? Or a 1. So this, okay. 0 comes down here, and a 0 on this line means A was 0, so please release B. So in that case, we just send B straight to the output. Okay. But if A was 1, we need to do something else with B. We need to test B. Am I stupid? Did I do this wrong again? No. If A was 0, just send B straight out. If we somehow sent a 1 here, then B is going to have to go on a different path. Am I doing something totally ridiculous? I did this whole thing so that I could say, if A is 0, send a 0 here. If A is 1, send a 1 here. Why not just send A here? If true, then true, else false? Is that what I've implemented here? Or if B, then true, else false, I guess, is if A. Maybe I just need to send a duplicate of A down here. Maybe this whole idea was crazy. I think that's true. quite. Well, maybe. Because this A line doesn't know what to do with itself, right? But the B line does know what to do with it. Maybe. So what are the three things? Are there three things I might need to do with A? Do I need to possibly delete it, possibly send it to the output, possibly do a third thing, set it to 0 and output it? I don't think that's true. So I think maybe I can just put this A into a controlled whatever, like either send yourself to the output or recycle yourself. And then figuring out what logic to... Well, but... shoot. This is currently on the data path for B, which is not what you want. Okay, but like... I think this is sort of the right idea. It just shouldn't be there. And like somehow we feed that in. We have to get a bit up here that knows what to do with A. Oh, this is silly, of course. This should just connect straight in, and there should be trash here. So in the case where B is 0, no. In the case where A is 0, we know what to do with it. We can just delete it because we're sending B. So we can put a splitter here and say we definitely can achieve a 0 in the case where A is 0. That's no problem, I guess. So like set that to 0. May as well point this properly for 1. So if A is 0, then we're going to send B out. Not like that. And also send a 0 here, indicating... Whoops, did I get this backward? I think I did. Yeah, so if A is 0, then we're just going to output B no matter what B is. So we'll send a 0, meaning throw away A. But if A was 1, we're going to come down here and do something else. And if B is 1... then A was also 1, and we can just output a 0. But if B is 0, we need a 1 from somewhere. And it has to be this. Oh, no. Now, I mean, I have a 1 right here if I could figure out how to use it. Maybe that's the idea. Take all this, scooch it over a tad. Don't incinerate the 1. That's a useful thing. So now, down here, I have a 1 and whatever B is, right? So if B is 0, I want the 1 to go to the output. And if B is 1, I want to do something. I don't know what. The problem is this I'm sending a thing down here and saying, oh great, it's 1. But what if it's not? What if it's 0? Then I'm not sending a B down that route, and this 0 is stuck here forever because there's no one to free it. Right? I'm leaving this puzzle for later. I don't want to do that. Let's learn a little bit about quantum, I guess. Or I don't know. What are the next ones? Classical memories. Oh, no. Is that a real part I have access to, or do I have to build it? I have to build it, of course. Yeah. Teach me about quantum. I don't want to do that stuff. Hello again. Fancy meeting you here on one of our quantum production lines. In this first task, I need to figure out how to undo the changes made to our qubits made by some pre-existing machinery. What's this? It appears that your predecessor left their journal notes accessible via the J button. Even though this employee ultimately proved to be a disappointment, their old notes could still prove useful. For hints, kind of? Okay, so what are you asking of me? These look easy enough. Flip/identity and rotation. Okay, what the hell is flip/identity? I understood rotation gates, I think. Oh, it's just a flip gate that you can turn off. Sure, okay. So what is this one doing? It's rotating, I think, 90 degrees right is what this means, and then being flipped, so it's actually 90 degrees left. not sure I understand. Let's do it step by step, please. So from down to right, yeah, that's 90 degrees right. Then it's flipped. Then it's clockwise by a little bit, or counterclockwise, which looks like about what this depicts. Okay. So we're at 90 degrees right, flipped to 90 degrees left, then another small amount left. So it should be 90 plus a small amount right. Like that. And then flip, probably? Wait a minute. Yeah. Is this true? I don't know. Let's see. Is this right? Nope, not even close. So I think you have to undo things kind of in the order, the opposite order to what they were done. When like, you can't just take, because the flip may do it does an unknown amount of changes. Like, yeah, sure, it turns this from kind of being 90 degrees right to being 90 degrees left, but it also flips whatever was there before. So I think you kind of have to do 3 more operations, all in the same, like, right? You have to undo this, then undo the flip, then undo the other rotation. I don't think you can do it faster than that. Well, yeah, there we go. So I am aware of a result that I think it's from computer graphics, maybe, that's relatively recent, that might be applicable to quantum stuff. I don't really know, because it's about like reorienting things. But I think they showed that given any sequence of rotations, I think... No, this doesn't seem right. There was some way to undo a sequence of rotations in a way that was simpler than just doing those rotations in reverse. And it was kind of complicated, and I don't remember the details. But maybe there's some advanced way you could do better than this, but with the tools that I have at my disposal, I think you have to undo everything exactly in order. So this one... Hello? Okay, there we go. Needs to do this. What? Oh. Is it actually flipping on a specific axis? Is that what this means? Maybe not. But I can rotate these. Yeah, they reflect around an axis. Oh, no. Okay. The sign of the output. I don't really know what that means. I think maybe what they're saying is if the bit is exactly... Well, now there's an example of one that was exactly lined up and nothing happened to it. Do we have that ever happen again? So these two have the same axis, and the inputs they're getting are the same. And they're outputting... They have like opposite axes, but that doesn't seem to affect what comes out. Oh, but look, the qubits have a little... Am I imagining this? Do they have a little aura around them that, like, this is purple? Now this one's purple? Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to be able to see that? Okay. But the important thing is these flips actually matter. Well, they need to be along the same axis. That looks right? Yeah. Okay, I don't think we have to sit through 100 of these. Great work as usual. Oh, use only 2 gates? What? Oh. I see. So I think... you could find some axis to flip them around. That's the equivalent of all this? Oh no. Alright, what does the journal say? Yeah, okay, great. I knew that, thank you. Well, what I'd like to do, I guess, no, is not that, but this. So that I can look at one of these on its way after it's had all the changes done to it. And ask myself, what axis could I flip this along to have it point straight down? None? It's impossible? What does it even mean to flip along an axis? I don't know. So this one, I mean, flipping about a horizontal axis, I understand, or a vertical axis. But what does this do? I guess, or this, for that matter. So this is going to flip along that axis. What does that mean? It's going to point southwest, I guess, right? Yeah. Whereas if you flipped it about the vertical axis, it would point northwest. So to make this point down, I think I need to flip it. So this is like, okay, if we look at these quantum things, they have like a lot of different, like they can be all the way northeast, more, or all the way southeast, more south than east, more east than south, right? So what exactly is this one at? It's at, looks pretty much exactly southwest to me. So if I wanted, if I flip it around the angle that's a little bit, just a little bit west of south, it'll point directly south, won't it? Is that what I want the next one to do as well? To flip around that axis? That would do nothing to it, I think. So, like that is what you're asking me for? Yeah. Okay. So I was able to do that by looking at the output from this and saying what axis do I need to make it swap. It would be nice if I could look at this without seeing what it does to a qubit and understand what rotation this will apply. It seems hard. This one's going to point southwest. And then like 135 counterclockwise from that. Means it would point due east. And then flip. So this one's not actually a good example for me to look at, I think. Is it? Oh no, because so I think this one's going to be pointing due east, which means I need to reflect it around a little bit north of east. Like that. Nope. Was I off by 180 degrees, maybe? Because that one's still right. Nope, that one's wrong. What does it mean? So that one points correct. This one is backwards. That one is off by 90 degrees. Is this one even right? It looks right. Yeah, it is. So it wasn't just a visual, like a trick of the eye. What does... Oh, I shouldn't be flipping this. It's been flipped twice. The solution to this one is a rotation. The rotation is just 45 degrees counterclockwise. I see. Because there were two flips in here, so all of the flipping got undone, and there's just a rotation left. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, that was a quantum puzzle. And indeed, my brain was not quite ready for it. So tomorrow we'll try more of these, I guess. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.